So this kind of that's also an alien material, and it is element, if I remember right, it's element 113. Here's another alien element formed in the confines of outer space. You might ask, what are we space shuttling? With all our shuttle missions, of course, we're being lied to every time they talk or open their lips, open their mouth. The same crystalline structure is here as well as it is here. This material is the hardness of a diamond. It's also used in the rotor and propeller shafts of propellered aircraft or rotored aircraft. It's also used in high-speed drills and other kinds of things like that, which are used to make holes in metals that cannot be touched with a welding torch. And this, of course, is that hunk of metal. And I have a real treat here. When I was 14 years old, I was with my father, who was talking to Sir Johnny Rawlins, Johnny H. Rawlins, who was a British naval sea lord, and he had collected some of the crash retrieval objects of the infamous Roswell crash, and these are actually little bits of the skin that have. Of course, you remember the skin, you couldn't bend it or cut it or anything. The way they did this, of course, they dropped liquid nitrogen on it, and they used a hammer technique of shattering it, and it became brittle. But once again, it's composed of nothing but alien elements, which are, by the way, we're not able to understand where this particular elements come from in the skin. It's the thickness of the sheets of paper you're writing on, and that's all it's needed to be meteor-proof and missile-proof and everything else. And these things have crashed, of course, and they've also been shot down by luck, predominantly not by skill. And I'll let you look at that, but you can handle these other things, but don't handle this.
You say they've been shot down, Phil. How would they have done that with a
charge
projectile?
Charge particle and beam weapon, as well as a railgun. A reusable railgun. And
that works so like a shotgun, you spray it out?
No, not really. A railgun is an electronic gun that shoots a projectile about 25,000 miles an hour, much faster than any rifle. I'll have a question and answer period. You can come up, take a look at these artifacts. Here's a couple of magazines. Spotlight. Anyway, there's the Alien Digest that got my friend killed. Here's some of my father's notes. Those are blanks there, but there's the famous Popular Science about secret airbase. By the way, if it doesn't exist, how come they printed it? Here's the Nazi saucer. That was done by Vladimir Chersky, who was a Russian space engineer of some fame. Here's the new periodic chart of the elements. You can go ahead and look through it. Incidentally, here is a unique piece of hardware too. It's an ordinary gold watch. The only thing unique about this particular gold watch is that it's a Waltham, but on the back, on the reverse, it's made in Montauk, New York. It just happened to be used by my dad in the Philadelphia experiment. And it happens to be keeping a rather accurate time. Anyway, I need a seat, and I'll let you look.
Can we get one of those tires?
Actually, the heaviest is the Mernite, that kind of gold-looking material. Be very gentle with these. These aren't normal specimens. And one person handling one piece at a time.
Can we get a periodic chart like that? Do some of those?
Yes, I do. These are $4 a piece.
Okay, I'll take one.
And a year ago, these were secret. Above top secret. By the way, here's your. Okay. Thank you very much. I showed it. Let's see what this is over for you. After we take a look, I'm going to ask you to take your seat, and we'll have a question and answer period, and then I'll wrap it up. Okay. The aerial maps are $2 if you want one of those. Those are actual aerial maps used at Groom Lake, and those were made in 1966. Also have portfolios of selected pictures of the atomic bomb blasts at Bikini, as well as Del Thor. And if there's some of them that need labeling, I'll label them for you after the talk.
Do you have one like that?
Yes, I do. Matter of fact, this I can't sell. Take a look inside of that canyon, so to speak. We get an interesting formation. See how the wood fibers have just literally been separated. Yeah, that's right. Of course, you've heard about straws and going through telephone poles after a tornado. Well, maybe this was that kind of a thing, although it seems to be remote.
Are those $20?
Yeah, these are $20, and they're a select group.
Is this in there?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll just throw this in. How about that? Inside these, there's a select group of pictures, like here at the streaked saucers leaving ground zero. I have other ones that are marked with USS Eldridge. This is, by the way, is the USS Eldridge ready room. It's a ready room aboard the USS Eldridge. I think LB will verify that. And that's one of their. I think how many ready rooms? Is Al here?
Yeah,
how many
I'm here.
ready rooms were aboard the USS Eldridge?
Theoretically, two. I only knew of one because that's the only one I ever went in.
Okay.
The lecturing varied between various lectures.
It lists the people. There's different people. Not all the people, although you can do your homework and probably find that out. These are going, after this talk, these placards are going to be duplicated on special paper and sent to the United States Senate, and of which these pictures will not only be totally declassified, but will be out in public domain.
We're taking a picture of all of them.
And if anything's not marked, if I haven't marked, I'll try and identify them for you.
That's up to the.
Christian,
I could give you a map of Groom Lake also. Sure, I'll be. Again, doesn't work.
Yes, what a difference. This is the heaviest one?
Yeah.
It's the hardest one?
Once you say the 300 feet.
That's what the other thing I've purchased here.
So from here I give a couple more talks. I am uprooting myself. I'm probably going to live in Idaho.
go through a boat?
No, I don't think so. No, don't get along.
Yeah, I kind of like the guy actually. So this stuff is good though for the stuff?
Yep, it is.
And what is that called?
It's called RAM. I call them the fellow who sent them to me, the Aurora drops. Sent to me by the base commander over there. Because I've done enough work on this. I have to be able to make aerospace applications. Anyway, radar absorbent material.
This product?
Incidentally, you can take your portfolios and copy the actual Joint Army-Navy Task Force language under those photographs, and that's the official language. I've stuck my own word in.
You have all that in there? You don't have all that in there.
Yes, well, I don't have all of them, but there's a select group. You can look through it and see the different ones that are selected.
You know, that's the 2 years ago, you said?
Yeah. You got A-bomb disease, A-class disease. Some of your careers, atomic war veterans. Atomic era veterans. Pardon me, but I'm going to take a seat. My back and my chest still hurt.
You want us to wait to ask questions?
No, actually, we'll continue to look. We'll just take a, write down the names of the. We'll start the Q&A here in about 10 minutes, 5 minutes, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Will you leave those out? I don't want them to video.
I think you'll have to sign up for the video, and you may have to.
I said I don't want to be in the video, but I want to see those.
Oh, okay. Did you hear the lady? She doesn't want to be in the video, but she'd like to look at those.
Go ahead.
So when she's up here, will you shut your camera off?
I don't.
Which one is this? Right there. No, I mean, which event is this?
Right here, this one. Flying disc, living ground zero, Joint Army, Navy Task Force, one photograph. At least both the water.
Test?
This was the Bikini Island.
Oh, okay.
Bikini Island.
This was funny.
Boston.
What date is it?
Yeah. Piece of paper, and so I'm signing it. And when I walked away, 29 other engineers walked away in a group. We submitted our papers to the U.S. Supreme Court immediately through, and I quote the Circuit Court of Appeals in San Francisco.
Withdrawing from the job.
Department of Justice.
Have they had problems like you?
Oh, yes. Quite a few people come out in the open. There's another thing I might want to mention very briefly. How about cold fusion? Supposedly, Nobel laureate physicist, of course, that was very quickly quashed because if cold fusion became a reality, we could make our own electricity in our kitchen. And make car batteries for our cars that last forever and other kinds of things like that. Cold fusion, this is the chemical formula for the metal oxide used in cold fusion, which is very similar to the metal oxides and alien elements used in airframes of black jets.
Well,
What?
Does the average engineer in this country not understand the thing about the bomb not being possible?
I haven't talked to a single engineer.